Slayer just released, and he's probably one of the most versatile towers in the game with how many abilities he has. At level 0 and 1, he begins with a slam attack and a simple gun attack. He also starts off with ignore bullet resistance, which makes him really good in modes like expert mode. One cool thing he gains at level 1 is that he gains a teleport ability. This ability allows you to reposition him anywhere on the map if it's in range, which makes him incredibly versatile in the early game of many modes. At level 3 is where he gains another passive, laser cannons. Every once in a while, he will fire lasers that do decent damage. I'm not sure what else to say about them, they're kinda weak. And then at level 4, he gains rocket pods that have flight detection and small splash radius. Level 4 also changes his teleport to a jump. Instead of repositioning instantly, he takes a moment to move to the spot you chose, but upon landing, he does large splash damage. It's like the brawler ability from TDX. At max level, everything in his kit is once again buffed, and he gains a mortar that has a hidden dead zone, which means it will only activate when an enemy is far enough from him, and it does very large splash damage. He also gains stealth detection, and in total, he has 6 unique attacks that make him incredibly strong for most scenarios. Also, his jump deals like 15,000 damage, which is insane. With that crazy damage, you're able to micro him and follow certain enemies like battering ram. You can really do this with any enemy in the game. If you notice a leak, just catch up to it with Slayer. Now let's rank Slayer in every relevant main mode. I'm gonna give Slayer A tier in elite mode. He isn't that good early on, but the amount of crowd control he has with his jump is so damn strong against King and Queen, Revive Plague Doctor, and virtually any horde in this mode. They all get decimated by that splash damage. And mind you, it's only for like 4 to 1,000 per Slayer, and you can get 4 of these guys per game in solo. That's really crazy. In expert mode, I'm giving Slayer A tier as well. There aren't as many hordes in this mode, but the fact that he still deals crazy damage from his jump and other abilities, he's just really good for every boss and the hordes that are present in expert mode. Slayer isn't that strong against bosses without his jump, so make sure you do micro that on bosses to maximize your damage. In Nightmare mode, I'm gonna give Slayer S tier. With the amount of abilities he has in his kit, and once again, his jumping incredibly strong, he's able to handle the early bosses and dense hordes in this mode. His overall kit being very crowd control based makes him really strong here. Plus his teleport and early ignore bullet resistance makes him pretty decent in the early game of Nightmare. He does fall off quite hard in the late game, but I think his kit in the early game and mid game make up for that flaw. Now I don't play Endless that much, and I did not test Slayer in it either, but I'm going to assume that Slayer falls off in the late game really hard in Endless due to the HP scaling being too high for his jump to be any useful. You're probably better off microing other towers, but I will give him C tier since he's probably really good in the early game. Finally, for Assault Bow and Robot Evasion, I'm giving him a D tier here. The eco doesn't support him using him in the early game, especially with the hordes being too strong for him when he isn't upgraded enough. On top of that, there's just way better towers that are cheaper than him and less micro intensive, such as Crow Mortar or Warship. It's just not worth using Slayer in the event. Again, the hordes are just too strong for him and the eco doesn't let you upgrade him early on. Also, the Ironclad just decimates him with the missiles it has and railgun it has, so it's just not worth it bringing Slayer here. Also, the reason why you're not seeing him being played is because I didn't record any extra footage from him, but I did use Slayer in the event while on stream last night, so I do have some experience with him in this mode. Anyways, the general playstyle of Slayer is just using his teleport early on to catch leaks and defend, and using his jump on hordes and bosses to deal high splash damage. He's quite easy to play, honestly. I hope you did enjoy this video. Thank you for watching.